Greetings all, Vanna here for the Fire Signs weekly message. Well, this is an interesting start to a Monday. Oh wow, okay. So, not only is there a card sticking up out of the deck, it's inverted itself. So that's definitely part of your message. What I am getting from this, and is showing in every single card, is an insane amount of resilience on your end, my fire signs. We have the Aries card of Shapeshifter Perspective coming out in the Shamanic Oracle. And with this, it's very clear that it's not an easy movement to work with your shadow in that, but there is a lot of power when it comes to working with and integrating your shadow. And I feel like that's something that you guys have been doing, is that shadow work and that processing. And this is where a lot of people get a little confused of, say you have a tendency to be really angry, and integrating that aspect of your life does not mean you give that anger a free reign in your life and in your system to wreak havoc on your life and your system, basically. When you integrate something that we associate with a negative energy, such as anger or sadness, you give it a valid space in your energy, and it's not going to keep fighting to be heard, screaming off the walls until it blows up enough to where you have to deal with it. So an example of integrating your anger into your everyday life is when you are getting pushback, when you are getting in an irritating situation. You have an awareness that you are getting angry. And so you take a moment to pause. If you can't figure out what in the environment is immediately making you angry and do something to resolve it, remove yourself from the environment, because it might be a situation where it's not even your anger. It's someone else's, and you being in that place with them, you are feeling it as your own. There is a lot that you have learned here with the Fool in reverse. And being paired with Leo's Conception card, this is absolutely a clear sign that you guys are starting a new chapter, but one where you're starting from experience. The Fool walks off that cliff not knowing what could hurt them on the other side of this. You are walking off that cliff not being afraid of what could hurt you, because you know you will survive if it's not meant to take you out. You have for this long, and it's not going to take you out. The card that was sticking out of the deck was Death in the reverse. This will not kill you, as much as of a burden this situation did give you. Because Ten of Swords in the reverse was the very first card that came out. I just caught 333 on my timer. You have been on a very confounding is the word that I want to say. And I'm not entirely sure why that word, confounding journey. Because there have been several points of confusion on this road. There have been several points of, I'm not sure why this is happening. But it's not really for us to know why we need to take a turn. In trusting our spirit and trusting our intuition and that connection with ourselves, it is more it's not a blind trust or faith, but a complete trust and faith that we have always been protected and that we will always be protected wherever we go. So on our journey and on our path, nothing meets us that is not meant for us in some way. And the Sea Creature's Immersions being the bottom of the deck, I want you to take some time right now to immerse yourself in those emotions. Because Knight of Cups being at the bottom of the deck of the tarot in the reverse, there is something that wants to be delivered to you, but currently the loading bay is too clustered, and anything that would come in off of this next shipment, so to speak, could get lost, could get damaged, or pushed to the side if all of this other clutter is not taken care of. And that is one of the things that you are shifting out of, is finding what it is in your life does not make you happy. Looking at those things in your life from a different perspective. Are you hanging on to something or someone out of a sentimental attachment, or out of a feeling of responsibility or guilt or shame, like you have to keep them around because of something that you did in the past or something that you didn't do in the past? One thing that's very difficult for us to realize, especially when we're on a newly awakened journey, is that we cannot drag the people we love on this journey with us, because they are in a completely different place than where you are, my love. And so for forgiveness to come out, I very much feel that my fire signs have been going through a lot of healing and release of hurt, especially with Ten of Cups in the reverse, or the Ten of Swords in reverse. Forgiveness, and this is another thing that people get a little confused about when it comes to spiritual work. When you forgive someone like an abuser, an aggressor, or someone who hurt you in the past, you're not doing it for them. Hell, you don't even have to say it to their face. Gods know I didn't. Because the person who hurt me, it would do me no good to say to them that I forgive them for being in pain. I forgive them for being blinded by their energy. They're still too hurt to hear that. And so I'm not going to waste my breath or energy trying to convince them that I forgive them. I'm not going to waste my time and energy trying to convince someone that they're what's in their own way. You live your life in what feels right to you, and the people who are meant to be in your life will be attracted to you. The people who are not in resonance with the life that you want to live will fall away. And people who will want you to stay the way you were, where they can use and manipulate you, will make themselves very fucking clear. And so the forgiveness that you are doing right now is entirely for your greatest and highest good, so that you do not carry that burden of resentment, that anger, that sadness, that fear, that loneliness. Every feeling that someone projected onto you, every feeling someone made you claim for yourself, you are letting go and forgiving yourself for allowing these things to happen, allowing these things to continue, forgiving yourself for not seeing that these were things that were hurting you. You do your best until you know better, and then you do better. You can't blame yourself for knowing something that you didn't know. And that is an entire point of not just the fool's journey, but a spiritual journey. Is to learn to paint that sun back in your sky, to learn to shine in the darkness and not accept when someone says it is the end of your story. It is the end of your tale. You were not important enough to be remembered. Oh my God. They're sequential. That's number 9 with the Phoenix. Forgive, the first card I pull out is 10. And then the Sun is 11. I love this deck. I use it all the time. There is no reason for it to be sequential like that unless it is literally in the divine timing. Like you are in the forgiveness phase because you decided that your story was not going to end there. And so when you release all of this burden, you can learn to be a beacon in the abyss to yourself, to be your own brightest light in the darkest of nights. Oh, I am so proud of you, my love. That is beautiful. That is truly gorgeous, my fire signs. Have a beautiful day.